Good evening, children. Good evening. A warm good evening wishes to everybody who've come on live today. Good evening. A few of you all have attended the last two sessions, which kind of comprises of the RC, reading comprehension. And in this class also, we'll see a RC. Rahul Hassan, good evening. Jones Fazal, good evening. Amul Tony is missing for the last few days. I don't know why. The rest of you all, okay. Rahul Hassan, good evening. Jones Fasil, good evening. I could see a lot of you all on live. Thank you for joining today's session. And now I will get into the RC for today. So as we always begin the session, all-in-one Royal Pass, 6 months validity costs rupees 777. 9 months validity costs rupees 888. Ponni, good evening. Gokul Venkateshan, good evening. 12 months validity costs rupees 1066. And your all-in-one banking consists of the following PDFs. It consists of all bank video courses, all bank exam PDF courses, all bank exam test series and ebooks, all bundle paid PDFs, super batch tests for bank exams, all current affairs paid PDFs. So if you have the Royal Pass, it is clear that you can purchase and study regarding all these courses. And you have to visit www.crackwithjack.com to purchase your necessary materials. You will have to log into this website. So Ashika, good evening Ashika. So Rahul Hassan, good evening. Jones Fazil, good evening. Ponni, good evening. Gokul Venkateshan, good evening. And Ashika, good evening. So now we've come to the next RC for today. On the first day, we saw an RC. Good evening. Yes, Bala Surendra, my day was good. Thank you for asking. How was your day? Okay. So day before yesterday, we dealt with a particular RC, which was very simple and it was our initial RC. Yesterday's RC dealt too much with mechanics regarding torque, acceleration and all that. But basically being a perceiver of RC, basically if you want to understand and point out the different elements inside RC, you don't have to confuse yourself more. You just have to read the passage with proper spacing in between. You have to read the passage, understand the passage, interpret the passage, analyze the passage, interpret the passage, analyze the passage, infer from the passage, and you have to write the main points and the subordinating points. So when you're doing all this and during all these stages, it is important for everyone to note your eye speed. How long does it take for you to read அப்படிங்கிற உங்களோட eye speed, you have to keep a track of it. So it is important. So yesterday we had a student who read the passage in 30 seconds. So I was overwhelmed because I was also not able to read it in 30 seconds. It took me at least 1.5 minutes to read. So I asked her, how did you read? She said she read the passage but she did not understand anything. Understanding aspect was literally 0. So in that context, you wasted your 30 seconds. That is the meaning of not understanding and reading is like wasting your 30 seconds. Sometimes I remember when you were, okay, so Yosanai, good evening Yosanai, good evening. Ashika, good evening. Bala Surendra, good evening. So sometimes my sister and I, we used to sit in the hall and we used to fight. And I used to read loudly, she used to read in an even louder voice. So that both of us cannot study at the end of the day. We used to read and our mindset will be in the argument that we are having. It will not be into the focus or it will not be into the aspect of understanding the subject. So similarly, this 30 seconds is literally a wasted 30 seconds if you cannot understand the passage. So it is important for you to understand and you should also keep questioning yourself, as I already told you. Why, what is the reason behind this? Why is this person coming here? Where is it taking place? So you should keep questioning yourself. Okay, if this is a situation, how is the situation created? So all these areas of your what, when, where, why, all this have to be answered so that you can interpret the passage. So a passage interpret பண்ணனும்னா how, what, why ங்கிற question நீங்க கண்டினியூஸா ஒரு ரெண்டு லைன் ரீட் பண்றீங்க, லைனை ரீகால் பண்ணுறீங்க, இது நடந்துச்சு, அப்போ எதுக்கு நடந்துச்சு அப்படிங்கிற டவுட் உங்களுக்குள்ளேயே வரணும். அதுக்கப்புறம் அடுத்த பார்ட்டு நீங்கள் ரீட் பண்ண ஆரம்பிக்கணும். இதுதான் இஸ் யுவர் நார்மல் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் இன் டேர்ம்ஸ் ஆஃப் ரீடிங். ஸோ இப்பெல்லாம் கரெக்டாக பண்ணிட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா that means you are reading your passage correctly. So now I've displayed the passage on the screen for you. I want all of you to start reading. As usual, we'll check the number of seconds it took for you to read or number of minutes it took for you to read. Read fast and give me the number of minutes it took for you to read. Your time starts now. You can on your timer and calculate the seconds. Please open your access your laptop and then look into the sessions, because it will give you a wider screen to read all the content which is displayed. So if you use your phone, whatever is displayed on the screen will not be visible. But if you use your laptop, it will be visible for you and you can understand what I am saying. So this is about, as we all know, it's about Gandhiji. So it's about some of his principles. So please read and tell me how long it took for you to read. I'm anticipating, I'm kind of curiously waiting to know the time limit. And you should understand that with every RC you read, your time in your next RCs should probably be lesser. That is how you advance in terms of your reading ability. It's quite a lengthy passage. So it will take some time for us to do the passage as well. If one or two of you all post the timings, then I can proceed with the content. Are you all there? Okay. So I think all of you are busy reading. So since you're all reading, it will be nice if I could also read and explain the passage to you. Because we're running out of time, I want to finish the RC today. So good evening, Vannamuthu, good evening. It was a very late good evening. We've started with the session, you're 10 minutes late. Okay, yes. So the task which Gandhiji undertook was not only the achievement of political freedom, but also the establishment of social order based on truth and non-violence. So we all know that Gandhiji is a person who believes in non-violence. So he doesn't like to bring in violence into any form, so that it will create an issue for everybody around. Yes, so he didn't want to bring violence in any form. So his very good practice was non-violence or ahimsa. So it was not only the achievement of political freedom. So in terms of politics or in terms of governance or in terms of authority, we had kings before and after the British rule. We had president and the parliament and everything. So Gandhiji did not only fight for the political freedom, but also he wanted to establish a social order where people were very truthful, where there was no violence, there was universal brotherhood, and there was equality, and there was maximum freedom for all. So he wanted to bring in a very immersive India where people could live united, live without violence, live like brothers, and have maximum freedom for everything. So in the first line, we come to understand that Gandhiji's notion was not only to provide political freedom, but also to bring in peace and happiness amongst every citizen in the country. This unfinished part of his experiment, so they call it an unfinished part. Why do you think they call it an unfinished part? Because even today we don't have unity, we are all not equal, we have disparities, there is violence. So since that fight is still going on, they're calling it the unfinished part of his experiment was perhaps more difficult to achieve. And they're saying the aspect of achieving all these are very difficult to achieve. This passage, okay, it took time for you. Very good, no problem. We'll just do it together. Come on. So the unfinished part of his experiment was perhaps more difficult to achieve than the achievement of political freedom. So bringing in peace, bringing in equality, bringing in non-violence and all this was more difficult than achieving political freedom according to the general notion. So political struggle involved fight against a foreign power. So political struggle na enna? ஒரு பிரிட்டிஷர்ஸ் வருவான், அவன் நான் தான் ஆட்சி செய்வேன்மா, நீ ஆட்சி செய்யக்கூடாது, நான் தான் ஆட்சி செய்வேன், அத்தாரிட்டி வாங்குறது, அவ்வளோதான் பொலிட்டிக்கல் ஃப்ரீடம். பட் ஆனால் and all of all and one and 1 minute, and all one do was either join or wish its success. So, for example, if you say the political struggle, my great grandparents were a part of this political struggle. They were not freedom fighters, but they used to tell my grandparents and my mother that the government was very clean when it was under Britishers, it seems. It used to be very clean, it seems. So, all this was the information that we got from a community of people who wanted political freedom, who wanted freedom by all means, but they didn't join the whole community of fighting like Gandhiji. So, that is the whole interpretation regarding this particular context. In establishing social order of this pattern, there was lively possibility and conflict arising between groups, classes, or of our own people. So, if you want to establish a social order, it is clear that everybody's perspective will not be the same. But not having the same perspective also means that they will bring in arguments and there will be fights here and there. Is it clear? So it will not be a very smooth journey. There will be fights here and there. So lively possibility. Okay, so the conflict arising, it will arise between our people or between us and the other people. So there would be conflict no matter what the situation is. எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஷோஸ் தட் மேன் வேல்யூ. இப்போ பொதுவாகவே நம்ம என்னென்னா நம்மளோட இந்தியன்ஸ் பொதுவாக ஹியூமன்ஸே எடுத்துட்டோம் அப்படின்னாலே நம்ம எதை ரொம்ப வேல்யூ பண்ணுவோம்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நம்மளோட பொசேஷன்ஸ், நம்மக்கிட்ட இருக்கக்கூடிய இடம், நிலம், காசு, ரூபா, தங்கம், நம்மளோட பொசேஷன்ஸை நம்ம ரொம்ப வேல்யூ பண்ணுவோம், ஈவன் மோர் தென் இஸ் லைஃப். ஸோ ஒருத்தனோட லைஃப்பில் வந்து அவன் வாழ்க்கை அப்படிங்கிறத விட கூட அவன் வேல்யூ பண்ணக்கூடிய விஷயம் எதுன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவன்கிட்ட இருக்கக்கூடிய பொசேஷன்ஸ். பிகாஸ் இந்த ஃபார்மர் ஹி சீஸ் the means of perpetuation and survival of his descendants even after his body. ஸோ என்ன ஆகிடும், இப்போ ஒரு திங்கு இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா நம்ம இறந்ததுக்கு அப்புறமா நம்ம பிள்ளைங்கிட்டலாம் போச்சுன்னா அவங்க நிம்மதியாக வாழ முடியும். நம்ம இறந்து போய் நம்ம சாம்பல் ஆனாலும் நம்மளோட ஃபோர்த் கமிங் ஜென்ரேஷன்ஸ் வில் கேரி ஃபார்வர்ட் த லீனியேஜ் and they'll hold wealth அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரியான ஒரு பெர்ஸ்பெக்டிவ் இருக்கிறதுனால we as citizens are more inclined to our possessions than to our own lives. Shri Ramananda Raj, good evening. So new order cannot be established without radically, a new order cannot be established, 1 minute. If it goes like this, I feel it will not be clear for you. A new order cannot be established without radically changing the mind and attitude of men towards property, and at some age or the other, the haves have to yield the place to have-nots. So, when இன்னைக்கு இருக்கு நாளைக்கு போயிடும், என்ன எதுக்குன்னா இன்னைக்கு ஹேவ்னா நாளைக்கு ஹேவ் நாட்டாகவும் இருக்கலாம். The situation will change, and the whole unity or the brotherhood or the equality and all this can be framed in the society only if men change their attitude towards the property. ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி அண்ணன் தம்பி அடிச்சுக்கலாம், அவனோட அடிச்சுக்கலாம், இவனோட அடிச்சுக்கலாங்கிறாங்க. அந்த சுச்சுவேஷன்லாம் மாறி ப்ராப்பர்ட்டியை ரொம்ப ப்ரையாரிட்டைஸ் பண்ணாமல் லவ்வையும் அஃபெக்ஷனையும் பிரதர்ஹுடையும் என்னைக்கு நம்ம ப்ரையாரிட்டைஸ் பண்ணுறோமோ அன்னைக்கு தான் ஆர் சொசைட்டி வில் ஃபால் இன்டு அ வெரி ஹாப்பி நோஷன் அப்படிங்கிறாங்க. We have seen in our time attempts to achieve an egalitarian equal society where everybody is equal, and picture it after it was achieved. So we are kind of aiming at a society which will be egalitarian, which will not be biased, which will not be a problem and all that. So that is clear. So will be achieved. So but this was done by and large through the use of physical force. So in the ultimate analysis, it is difficult. It is not impossible to say that the instinct to possess has been rooted out, or will it not reappear even in the worst form under different guise. So disguising is like you're taking a different form in terms of your appearance. So all these conditions வந்து entire eradicate பண்ணிடுவோம், இது நடக்காம இருக்கும், இதுல ப்ராப்ளமே வராது, இதெல்லாம் வராதுன்னீங்கன்னா இல்லை. There would be situations where we'll crop up, we'll have differences, and we will have a situation that moves towards the property or the possession zoned areas. It may even be that like has kept confined with containers under great pressure or water held by a big fan. So once a barrier breaks, the reaction will one day seep into violent and extent and intensity to what was used to establish and maintain the outward egalitarian form. So, at one point of time, no matter how hard or how things go, there will be an outburst of situations, and the outward egalitarian form will have to be created and it has to be established. Though humans have different repercussions, or they have different ways of reacting to situations in different forms of their lives, and egalitarian is generally a society where everybody are treated equal. To bring in that, there could be violence, there could be terror, there could be unity, there could be all these, but our ultimate goal as human being is to enforce an egalitarianism, which means all people are equal, the seeds of its own destruction. So the enforced egalitarian consists in its own bosom, the seed of its own destruction. The root cause, class conflict. So entire probably if we are having an issue in terms of not creating an egalitarian society, the main reason is the class conflict in possessiveness and acquisitive instance. So you want to possess something, you want to acquire something, you want to have it with you. So in the Madri, when we are more possession oriented, that is a context when we all have class conflicts, and then we have a society which is not equal. So as long as the ideal has to be achieved, is one of the securing maximum material satisfaction, possessiveness can neither be suppressed nor eliminated, but will grow on what it feeds. So we all have to be one, we all have to be equal அப்படின்னா, people have to get rid of their material satisfaction, but that will not happen. That will keep growing. Possessiveness, either it has to be suppressed. So இதெல்லாம் வச்சிருக்கீங்களா அப்படிங்கிறது, the pressure on us and the ability to make more has to be suppressed or it be eliminated. But ஆனால் இதெல்லாமே நடக்குமான்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இல்லை. இதெல்லாமே will grow along with us as we are evolving in this society. Nor will it cease to be such. It is possessiveness. Still, whether it is confined to only a few, it is shared by many. So, கொஞ்சம் பேர் இருக்கு அப்படின்னா, it is shared by many. Many of them in the society hold a lot of vitality pertaining to possessiveness. They always feel they have to hold a lot of things so that they can be recognized in the society. If egalitarianism is to be ensured, it has to be, so we are reading with this part. So one minute. So those goods which cannot be shared by others or can be enjoyed at the expense of theirs. So the calls for substitution of spiritual values that is sometimes equated with the program these days neither spells peace nor progress. So a lot of violence and a lot of different things are probably leading us to a society where we are all not together. But has shown us how to acquisitive instinct inherit is in man could be transmitted by the adoption. Okay, so for example, we live in a society where a few people are blessed with so many assets and a few people are not blessed with so many assets. So அந்த மாதிரி condition இருக்கேல, Gandhiji is trying to bring in a law called the acquisitive instinct inherit. So where it is also called the ideal of trusteeship. இது என்ன meaning அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, wealthy people fall in connection with people who are not very wealthy and they act as trustees of trust and they take care of the welfare of people around them. We live in a society where possession is very important. We cannot live without possession. So all that is clear. So we can bring in a society where people who are not having can come in acquaintance with people who are having, and they can live together, and then they can work for the welfare of these people, thereby giving them a complete society where they can adopt and live better. Yes, so that principle of the rich helping the poor or the wealthy people trying to look into the welfare of the people in need, that is called the ideal of trusteeship. So first ப்ராப்பர்ட்டிஸ்லாம் பிரிக்கல, பொசஷன்லாம் பிரிக்கல, சில பேர்ட்ட கூட போயிடுச்சு, சில பேர்ட்ட கம்மியாக போயிடுச்சு. அப்போ காந்திஜி கொண்டு வந்த பிரின்சிபல் தான் இஸ் த ஐடியல் ஆஃப் ட்ரஸ்டிஷிப். எங்கன்னா wealthy people those who worked really hard to make their money can probably help people who are less அப்படிங்கிற context. சரியா? So that is a passage that we are dealing with. The first question is right up on the screen. Select the most appropriate option. Select the most appropriate. Oh, I am having an issue with the pointer. 1 minute. Select the most appropriate option to complete the given sentence. Gandhiji aimed at achieving political freedom, establishing a non-violent society, universal brotherhood, both A and B. What did Gandhiji aim at? Give me your answers in the chat box. What do you think was Gandhiji's aim? What did Gandhiji aim at? So look into the idea. So you can all give me the answer. I'll wait for your answers. What did Gandhiji aim at? Don't confuse. ரொம்ப confuse பண்ணாதீங்க. Just understand. காந்திஜி வந்து political struggle தாண்டி ஃபேஸ் இந்த ட்ரூத், வைலன்ஸ், யூனிட்டி, பீஸ் இதெல்லாம் கொண்டு வரணும்னு நினைச்சாங்க. அது எல்லாமே டிஃப்ரெண்ட். அதெல்லாம் பெரிய ஆப்ஸ்டக்கிளாக இருந்தது என்னன்னா பொசேஷன் ஒரு அக்வைண்டன்ஸ், அக்விசிஷன். ஸோ அக்விசிஷன் இது பொசேஷன் இருந்ததுனால காஸ்ட் டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் வந்துச்சு. அதனால பீப்புள் ஹேட் அ டிஸ்பாரிட்டி. ஸோ எக்லிட்டேரியன் சொசைட்டி கொண்டு வரணும்னு காந்திஜி வாஸ் ஹைலி பர்சுவேட்டட் பை தட் ஐடியா. ஸோ பீப்புள் ஹூ ஹேவ் இட் ஒன் டே வில் நாட் ஹேவ் இட் another day, but at the end of the day there is always a disparity and there is always a class distinction. Oh, so many of you all have given me the answer. Very good. Gokul Venkateshan, excellent. Jones Fazil, excellent. Yosanai, excellent. Vasant, excellent. Kavita D, excellent. Rahul Hasan, excellent. Vijay, excellent. Yes, your answer is option 5. Very good. Let's go to the next question. I told you the meaning of this. What do you think egalitarianism means? What does it mean? You can all give me the answer in the live chat box. Egalitarianism means, what does it mean? What is the meaning of this term? What is the meaning of the term? What is the meaning of this term? I told you, you can guess it with reference to the passage. You can read the passage and you can guess the answer. So you can all give me your answers. I'll wait for your answers. Please give in your answers. So the rest of you all can also keep guessing. All of you very fast today. Thank you. Kudos to you. Very good, very good, very good. Shri Ramanandaraj, Vasant, Rahul Hasan, Yosanai, Gokul Venkateshan, Vannamuthu, Kavitadadi. You have come up with the right answer. Excellent. Egalitarianism is a doctrine that all people are equal and people deserve equal rights and opportunities. Abdingiradha is the meaning of the statement. So your answer, inequality or violence or suppression or elitism, all these are on the opposite side, and this is the only fact which talks about equality. எல்லாத்தையும் சரிசமமா பாருங்க அப்படின்னு உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்கக்கூடிய மீனிங் கொடுக்கக்கூடிய ஒரே ஒரு ஐடியா உங்களோட ஆப்ஷன் 2 மட்டும் தான். So 23rd question, can you please read and give me the answer? In the context of this passage, which of the following statement is false? இதில் எந்த statement false அப்படின்னு உங்ககிட்ட கேட்குறாங்க. Which of the statement is false? Guess your answers. Please go through your answer one more time. Possession தான் conflict cause பண்ணுதா அப்படின்னா ஆமா. The instant of possession cannot be rooted out completely. அதுவும் ஆமாதான். Satisfaction of material needs cannot earn peace and progress. That is also true. ஒரு material needs மூலமா we can be very peaceful அப்படின்னா அதுவும் கிடையாது. Voluntary renunciation is the key. So what do you mean by renunciation? Can somebody give me the meaning of renunciation? What do you mean by renunciation? Renunciation na enna? Renunciation means saying that you no longer want that or you no longer believe that. That is called renunciation. So voluntary renunciation, the meaning of renunciation is you feel it is no longer valid. I'll write the meaning of renunciation here. Just look into the meaning. One minute. Yes. Saying that you no longer want something. saying that you no longer want something or believe in something. That is called renunciation. Saying that you no longer want something or believe in something. That is not going to be a false statement. That will be a true statement. So conflicts between groups and classes are bound to arise. So we know that there is class difference, but this cannot be a true statement in terms of the passage, because they are saying that we will build a situation where there is an ideal of trusteeship and egalitarian society no ki povonu, they are saying, and Mahatma Gandhi is trying to impose rules where, so the answer will be conflict between groups and classes are bound to arise. So that will be your false statement pertaining to this whole context. So it's like you feel that it's no longer something, or you don't believe in that any longer, that is called renunciation. So your answer will be option 4. Conflicts between groups and classes are bound to arise. So that will be a false statement. So there could be a situation where an ideal of trusteeship is created, where the groups can aid. There could be a context where you are falling in pace with the trusteeship, and there could be a situation where you don't have a lot of chaos or problem around. So there is a point which says possession is leading to class. But the conflict between groups and classes are bound to arise. There is no idea which says it is bound to arise no matter what. That ideology is kind of not to the point. So voluntary renunciation is a key. So that is going to be a false statement. You probably feeling that is no longer something is valid, or you no longer believe in something, will not be the key to the whole context. So yes, which one of the following is similar to the meaning of the word disguise? So what is the... They are saying, but in the whole context of the passage, they are saying that it could also be resolved with the ideal of trusteeship, right, Rahul Hassan? They kind of saying conflicts can be arised in the initial part, but their conclusion kind of determines very clearly that the ideal of trusteeship will be adopted, where the conflicts and the group discuss all these whole ideas could be brought to an end, correct? So though they are trying to bring in the different problems, the solution relies on the fact that the ideal of trusteeship will be created where an egalitarian society could be adopted. And that is something we are following today. Today we have charities and trusts raised by rich people to help the poor people, right? So though they say that it is a condition which was there, but their conclusion of the whole idea focuses on the whole idea of bringing in a egalitarian society. So, and accordingly, if you look into your other 4 statements, this statement kind of has less weightage. So, in the meeting 4 statement which this statement kind of has the less weightage. This is not as direct as the other statements are. So, which is one of the following is similar to the meaning of the word disguise? So, what do you think is the answer for this? Guess your answers. Very good. Some of you all are guessing it right. I want the rest of you all to guess as well. Very good, very good, very good. What is the meaning of guys? This guys thing word I've heard of that in the literature part very commonly. So here it kind of symbolifies the appearance context. So here it very well signifies the appearance context. So an external form or appearance typically concealing the true nature, disguised as, for example, in Shakespeare plays we used to have a character who is disguised as somebody or something like that. So that is a very common word that we learn in literature. According to the passage, people ultimately overturn the form overturn the form a social order which. So according to the passage, people ultimately overturn to form a social order which. So what will people basically trying to do on? Overturn to form a social order which. So what do you think is the answer for that? So what will they kind of work towards? They will not try to bring in foreign powers, they will not bring in congenial or to the spiritual values, they will not bring in that reapproachment or reconciliation, they will not bring it, does satisfy their basic needs. That also will not be the entire ultimate goal of social order. The ultimate goal of social order will be based on coercion of oppression, oppressive society. So it is based on this notion. That will be your key cut idea in terms of your coercion and oppression. So coercion is basically varpurthal and oppression. So you will try to create a social order which will overturn in terms of these aspects. So which will entirely be overturned in terms of these aspects. So according to the passage, which of the following statement is not true? I want all of you to read this passage and give me the answer. It's a very simple question. Which of this statement is not true according to the passage? A social order based on truth and non-violence can help the achievement of maximum freedom for all. Just read all the answers and give me the answer. Which do you think would be the right answer pertaining to the passage? Which of the following is not true? You can still keep in mind the point that I told you. We are drawing a society of ideal of trusteeship. Yes, very good, Gokul Venkatesh. We're drawing a society which is ultimately aiming at a situation of trusteeship. So in that context, I want the rest of you all to keep guessing your answer as well. So according to the passage, which of the following statement is not true? The rest of you all can also keep guessing your answers. Yes, very good, because we don't feel that material satisfaction can be enjoyed only at the expense of others. Though it says your haves will become have-nots or your have-nots will become your haves, and though the conditions will always differ, it is not stated, it is not true that the material satisfaction can be only enjoyed at the expense of others. That is something that the passage did not deal with. It spoke about the achievement of freedom. It spoke about the egalitarian society. It spoke about the possibility of conflict between different classes. It spoke about it's difficult to change the property of people, their mind towards property. The root cause of class conflict is possessiveness. Possessiveness is what you own. இது எல்லாத்தையுமே பத்தி பேசின இந்த passage didn't tell the fact that you are enjoying something at the expense of others. அப்படிங்கிற பாயிண்ட்டை பத்தி the passage did not deal with, and it is not true. Okay, so that is very clear. So the other points were all explained and examined in the passage. They said people have money, so there is a clash conflict. The society has different stratas of existence, and people's minds have changed after having property. இதை பத்தி எல்லாமே பேசின இந்த passage. நீ ஒன்று அனுபவிக்கிறன்னா இன்னொருத்தனை அழிச்சு தான் அனுபவிக்கிற அப்படிங்கிற பாயிண்ட் the passage did not emphasize on. Okay, in the context of the passage, what is the adoption of ideal of trusteeship? So I spoke to you about trusteeship for quite a long period of time. And what do you think it generally means? அப்படின்னா என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்க? What do you think is trusteeship? I told you very clearly, trusteeship is actually a process of somebody helping somebody. Who is that somebody? Who is he helping? What do you think is the ideal of trusteeship? So we are adopting trusteeship in today's society where we have a lot of organizations which function and work for the benefit, which was evolutionary ever since the presence of Mahatma Gandhi ji. It has evolved ever since the presence of Mahatma Gandhi ji. So, but what do you think is his ideal in general? So you can give in your answers. Very good, Gokul Venkateshan. Excellent. Kudos to you. Very good, Vijay. Very good, Vasant. To equate peace and progress and material satisfaction. Equality பத்தி படிக்கிறது egalitarianism. Ideal for benefit of society. எல்லாமே ட்ரஸ்டிஷிப்னால சொசைட்டி பெனிஃபிட் ஆகுமான பெனிஃபிட் ஆகும். பட் பெனிஃபிட் ஆகிறது மட்டும்தானே அதோட டெஃபினேஷன் கேட்டிங்கன்னா அதோட டெஃபினேஷன் கிடையாது. The privileged class already renounces the politics. Though they don't renounce the whole fact. They don't renounce their possessive instance. Substitution of spiritual values by, so இதெல்லாமே கிடையாது. Spiritual values, material values, அது எதுவுமே கிடையாது, ஒன்றுமே கிடையாது. People who are wealthy will help people who are in need. அவ்வளோதான். Welfare of the people looked after by the wealthy people. That's ideal of trusteeship. This whole passage revolves around Gandhi trying to bring in this ideal through ahimsa, non-violence and everything within the society which has different classes. So that is the whole idea. So the ones who've given me the right answer are Gokul Venkateshan, Vijay, Vasant, Rahul Hasan, Yosanai and Celsia. So kudos to you, you've given me the right answer. Welfare of people looked after by the wealthy class. It's a simple agreement. So ahimsa ennadhu, it is benefit to the society. Ama adhu benefit to the society. Adi ennadhu, not fighting using weapons and all that, and tolerating and winning success. Ahimsa is non-violence. அதுதான் அதோட எக்ஸாக்ட் டெஃபினேஷன். அது சொசைட்டியை பெனிஃபிட் பண்ணுமானா ஆமாம் அதுவும் பெனிஃபிட் பண்ணும். பீஸ் கொடுக்குமானா அதுவும் பீஸ் கொடுக்கும். இப்போ கூடக்கூடிய எல்லா அடாப்ஷன் பேஸ்ட் ஐடியல் பேஸ்ட் நார்ம்ஸுமே நமக்கு இந்த பெனிஃபிட் சொசைட்டியை பெனிஃபிட் பண்ணுமானா பெனிஃபிட் பண்ணும், பீஸ் கொடுக்குமானா பீஸ் கொடுக்கும். பட் எக்ஸாக்டாக அது என்ன அப்படிங்கிறது தான் அந்த கொஷின். ஸோ நீங்கள் உங்களோட ஆன்சர் கொடுக்கல யூ ஹவ் டு பி வெரி எக்ஸாக்ட் இன் டர்ம்ஸ் ஆஃப் யுவர் ஆன்சர். தட் இஸ் த ரீசன் பிஹைண்ட் கிவிங் யூ திஸ் ஆன்சர். ஓகே, ஸோ வாட் கேன் யூ இன்ஃபர் ஃப்ரம் த ஃப்ரேஸ் ரூட் அவுட்? இந்த கான்டெக்ட்ல வரக்கூடிய இங்கே வேர்ட் ரூட்டட் அவுட்னு ஒரு வேர்டு வந்திருக்கீங்க, இந்த பேசேஜ்லேயே வந்திருக்கு ரூட்டட் அவுட்னு. இந்த ரூட்டட் அவுட்டுங்கிற வேர்டோட மீனிங் என்ன அப்படின்னு நீங்கள் நினைக்கிறீங்க அப்படிங்கிறது கிவ் இட் டு மீ இந்த லைவ் சாட் பாக்ஸ். What do you think is the exact meaning of rooted out in the passage? Then go to the question, what is the meaning of rooted out that you can infer from the passage? The rest of you all can also keep guessing. Instill something na oru vishayatha kondu varudhu, destroy something na oru vishayatha adikirudhu, flatten something na you're making it bland. So that whole context, your answer will be very good, very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. The rest of you all can also keep guessing your answers in the live chat box. So do you think rooting out is instilling? How do you feel rooted out? So rooted out will no way be instilling. Instilling now, for example, ஒரு சின்ன பொண்ணு இருக்கா அப்படின்னா அவளுக்கு நான் என்ன சொல்லி கொடுக்குறேன்னா instilling values in her, instilling knowledge in her. ஒரு விஷயத்தை you're bringing in and that is bringing in a positive effect now you will use instill in. So Gokula Venkateshan has given 3, right? So that positive way that is instilling in. So the ones who've given me 5, instill varadu. Instill is when you instill sense or value or water or whatever. Instill something, it's more onto the positive context. But here, it is impossible to say that the instinct to possess has been rooted out. So here it is kind of coming to an end. Here, rooted out, or it will not reappear. Rooted out agum illa thirupi appear agadu, or it will become worse. So they're bringing in a pessimistic tone in this whole context. So appo your answer will be to find and remove something in someone. So you're trying to disappear, you're trying to take it away. Will not reappear, right? It is disappearing artham. The worst context under a different appearance. So this whole context is coming under a pessimistic tone, not under an optimistic tone. When you have a very good sense of value instilling it is something more onto the positive scale than onto the negative scale. Is it clear, Rahul Hasan? So your answer will be option 3. Find and remove something or someone. You're just disappearing or removing something or removing someone. The sentence read பண்ணல அடுத்த லைன்லயே கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க பாருங்க. Will not reappear அப்படினா disappear அப்படினு அர்த்தம், which means you're removing something or someone. Rooted out or னு போட்டு வரல, you know this and this kind of means the same. So just understand the contextual analysis of the answer and given your answer. To find out or remove something. Okay, Rahul. So 29th question. What is the broad meaning of haves have to yield the place to the have-nots? So it's very clear. ஒருத்தன்ட்ட இருக்கு, ஒருத்தன்ட்ட இல்லை. இருக்குங்கிறவன் அதை கற்றுக்கிட்டோ இல்லை கொண்டு வந்தோ இல்லை அப்படிங்கிறவனை ஹெல்ப் பண்ணணும். So what do you think is the ideology examined in this particular line? What do you think is the meaning of this line? Havesனா இருக்குங்கிறவன், have notsனா இல்லைங்கிறவன். ஸோ இருக்குங்கேல it talks about the possession. Have notsங்கேல இல்லைங்கேல it talks about the possession. So it is more onto the material context. So what do you think will be the answer in that part? It is more onto the material aspects. The rest of you all can also keep guessing. So actually you have a particular statement in this, which is probably you've dealt with the word renounce a couple of times. So renounce na enna appadina idu enak illa idu ennodhu illa appdi nammale vandu open எல்லாத்தையும் சொல்றது, which means you're a very wealthy person and உனக்கு ரொம்ப தாராள மனசு, நீ இது எதுவுமே என்னோட வெல்த்தில் எல்லாம் பப்ளிக் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா you're renouncing your assets அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். அப்படி யாருமே பண்ண மாட்டாங்க, பட் அந்த வேர்டோட மீனிங் அதுதான். Okay, so what do you think? What is the broad meaning of haves have to yield place to the have-nots? இருக்குங்கிறவன் என்ன பண்ணணும்? He has to contribute. He has to help the society. He doesn't renounce. Renounce எல்லாத்தையும் வேணாம்னு சொல்றது, அப்படி அவன் பண்ண மாட்டான். But he has to contribute. He has to take care of himself also, and he has to contribute to the betterment of the society, which is he has to have wealth and he has to still work on to the betterment of people around him as well by contributing to the society. So replace existing ones, principles, அதை பற்றிலாம் எதுவுமே அவங்க பேசவே வரல. ஹேவ்ஸ் ஹேவ் நாட்ஸுங்கிற எல்லாம் இருக்குங்கிறவன் இல்லைங்கிறவன், இதுதான் ஹேவ்ஸ் அண்ட் ஹேவ் நாட்ஸுங்கிற ஒரு கான்டெக்ஸ்ட். சரியா? So the ones who have given me the right answer are Gokul Venkateshan, Vasant, Yosanai, Rahul Hasan. Very good. So your last question. Choose the most appropriate title for the passage. இந்த பேசேஜுக்கு இந்த டைட்டில் பெஸ்ட்டாக இருக்கும் அப்படின்னா எந்த டைட்டில் சொல்லுவீங்க? What do you think will be the exact passage or a definition? So you can give in your answer. Though all of it sounds right, one will be very accurate. One will be very accurate. So what do you think would be the more accurate definition to this whole context? Most appropriate. Appropriate na ellame appropriate da irukku. But most appropriate எது இருக்குன்னு நீங்க நினைக்கிறீங்க அப்படிங்கிறது தான் question. The rest of you all can also keep guessing your answers. So this entirely revolves around Gandhiji. He is a person who is trying to bring in political freedom, who is trying to bring in social order, and social order கொண்டு வரது மூலமா வரக்கூடிய class differences பத்தி, possession பத்தி, and how to resolve this by using an ideal of trusteeship ஐயும், and how to bring in an egalitarianism in society பத்தியும் he is the person who is dealing with on the whole. So it is no doubt that if you revolve around the visions of Gandhi on the social order, it will be an appropriate title to this whole context. So is it clear? So if you bring in the idea of Gandhiji's vision to the social order, it will be an appropriate way of rendering this whole context of study. So Gokul Venkateshan, Yosanai, Rahul Hasan, Vijay, Celsia, Vasant. Kudos to you, you've all given me the right answer. So just understand that the passage will hold one vital idea. வந்து எல்லாமே வந்து ஒரு மெயின் பாயிண்ட் வரும், மற்ற எல்லாமே சப்பார்டினேட்டிங் பாயிண்ட்ஸ் வரும். சரியா? So subordinating points எல்லாமே you don't have to keep in mind when you're reading about the title. So introductory idea, in the middle you will deal with, and in the end you will deal with. Everything revolves around Gandhi as a human being. Everything revolves around Gandhiji. So it is clear. It is very clear in the very first line and in the very last line about how he's tried to bring in this whole experiment. Gandhiji, and in the last line, Mahatma Gandhi. So this area kind of tells you very well, or tells you very clearly that he is working towards a political freedom, but also to establish social order based on truth and non-violence in all these contexts. So it is important for us to understand that he holds vital significance in terms of all the context of applications. That is the whole idea. So the entire idea will revolve around Mahatma Gandhiji. So is it clear? So his name in the title will make it sound more appropriate. His ideology, his ahimsa with non-violence passage is Mahatma Gandhiji. So his main ideas. So though we have dealt with class conflicts, spiritual values பெருசா நம்ம டீல் பண்ணல, but we told it's important to have these values. Material values பத்தியும் பேசணும். Renunciation of possessive instinct, political and social freedom, இது எல்லாத்தையுமே பத்தி ஒரு பார்ட்ல பேசணுமே ஒழிய on the whole இதெல்லாம் ஒரு டாபிக் கீழே கொண்டு வரணும் அப்படின்னா சோஷியல் ஆர்டர் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு ஐடியாலஜி கீழே எல்லாமே வந்துடும். இப்போ வந்து மெட்டீரியல் வேல்யூஸும் வந்துடும், கிளாஸ் கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட்ஸும் வந்துடும், பொசசிவ் இன்ஸ்டன்ஸும் வந்துடும், சோஷியல் ஃப்ரீடமும் வந்துடும். எல்லாமே எது கீழே வரும்னா சோஷியல் ஆர்டர் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு வைடர் டாபிக்கு கீழே ஈச் இண்டிவிஜுவல் டாபிக் வில் ஹேவ் இட்ஸ் பிளேஸ். அதுதான் இஸ் த ஹோல் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் ஆஃப் த பேசேஜ். So I think we've dealt with RC for the last couple of days and it was useful for you. So read the passage carefully. First, நீங்கள் read பண்ணி solve பண்ணல கொஞ்சம் error இருக்க மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும். But if you keep continuously practicing it and if you keep working on all the questions, you will be able to answer to the passages very easily as time goes by. சரியா? So initially it might sound difficult, it might be difficult, but once you practice, you will reach a point of time where all your answers are definitely going to be right. Okay, so that requires practice, that requires reading, that requires understanding. So work on all these areas. It will definitely help you reach great heights. Thank you for joining today's session, students.